fired against him by Egyptian prosecutors. Those and other stories when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Syria's president has asked the United Nations to prevent aggression against his country, but Washington has already pressed the pause button on U.S. military intervention. President Barack Obama says a strike on Syria is necessary, but he wants approval from Congress. That vote is expected next week, but no matter how it goes, President Obama could still decide to go ahead with military action. Now, two influential Republicans are to visit the White House to discuss Syria with President Obama. Administration officials require other lawmakers to make the case for military action. Congress is currently on a break, but some members have returned to Washington. Dana Bass reviews the mood at Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers emerged from a classified briefing intended to convince them to authorize force in Syria, supremely unconvinced. Republicans...
The mood of the district that I represent is do not do this, and I honestly didn't hear anything that told me I ought to have a different position.
On a no, based on the information that I have now.
And many of the president's fellow Democrats.
I'm still very skeptical about the president's proposal. It is not clear to me that we know what the results of this attack will be, meaning will it be effective?
The vote we're taking today, would you be yes or no?
I honestly cannot say.
Democrat Janice Hahn took the red eye from California seeking answers, but left with lots of questions.
We want there to be some consequences. What is that? Is that just going to war? Is that bombing? Is that killing more people? No. I'm not there yet. I would not vote for today.
To be sure, the president does have some support.
Where are you right now? Are you a yes or a no?
I'm a yes.
But to get enough yeses to pass, one thing is clear. This version of authorization the White House sent Congress Saturday night must be changed.
The biggest single concern among the members may very well have been a very broad request for authority with a supposedly very narrow intent to do anything.
That concern is bipartisan. Lawmakers say they want to limit the authority they give the president, specify a time frame for military strikes, and make crystal clear no boots on the ground.
Blank checks or even partial blank checks.
And this is a blank check at this point?
Well, this is a partial blank check the way it's currently drafted.
Egypt's former president, Mohamed Morsi, will stand trial on charges of incitement of murder, among other accusations. He is accused of encouraging violence against opposition protesters in clashes last December, where at least 10 people were reportedly killed. Morsi was ousted in July during widespread protests against him, and the charges Morsi faces are not like those levied at his predecessor, Hosni Mubarak. CNN's Carl Pennold has more from the Egyptian capital, Cairo.
The deposed President Mohamed Morsi will face these additional charges. That really because we have seen some of the steam run out of the protests led by pro-Morsi supporters and the Muslim Brotherhood. The top flight leadership, as you know, has now been arrested, and that really leads to not necessarily a lack of organisation on the streets, because the Muslim Brotherhood and its supporters can still get boots on the street, but it does seem to have led to a lack of ideas about how they can take their fight to oppose the July 3rd military coup. So wouldn't exactly expect any major reaction on the street to this news of the additional charges being levied at Mohamed Morsi. But as you say, of course, very much similar to the charges that a deposed dictator, Hosni Mubarak, is facing. And as we know, he is now out of prison under house arrest. And if you look at the common thread in all of these killings, then behind a lot of the killings we see the police and military, and right now they are very much in power and are under scrutiny by nobody but themselves, Christy. Now, tens of thousands of households are without electricity after a tornado hit Japan.
Just north of Tokyo, several dozen people have been injured and hospitalized. There was widespread damage to buildings and homes, and more bad news is coming out of Japan's crippled Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. Now, TEFCO, the company in charge of cleaning up there, has found a sharp spike in radiation levels in some pipes and tanks holding contaminated water. Now, in all, 4 hotspots were found, with the latest reading sharply surpassing the one taken just last week. More in this piece.
Japan's northeast coast, destroying almost everything in their path. Almost 19,000 are believed to have died after the earthquake and tsunami of March 2011. The Fukushima nuclear power plant was crippled. 3 reactors suffered a meltdown, causing the world's worst nuclear disaster in a quarter of a century. But it's not over yet. This weekend, the operator of the plant admitted radiation levels near a water storage tank are 18 times higher than thought, at levels that could, in theory, kill an unprotected man in 4 hours. TEPCO only realized the spike when they started to use a more sensitive measuring device. The company is struggling to cope with hundreds of thousands of tons of highly radioactive water. The head of Japan's nuclear regulator said Monday, TEPCO has been dealing with this issue in a haphazard way, with stopgap measures. They're simply dealing with one crisis after another, so many things are missing from their overall plan. 2 weeks ago, TEPCO admitted 300 tons of radioactive water had seeped into the Pacific Ocean after leaking from a storage tank. The regulator wants hundreds of identical tanks to be replaced and admits some low-level contaminated water may have to be deliberately released into the ocean. An estimated 1.5 million tons of debris washed away from Japan after the tsunami. Some of that has reached US shores. A recent study predicts contaminated water could reach parts of the US early next year, but at very low radiation levels.
From Japan there, we take another short break. We'll be back in a moment. Well, it's now time to look at the weather report, courtesy of the Central Forecast Office.
The source assures us of a continuous flow, and from there, everything follows. And for those of us who know what the River Gambia stands for, understanding its sustainability in all aspects of life is easily confirmed. The River Gambia provides nutritious delicacies as food, while it provides its wildlife a balanced ecosystem. This river, as a sanctuary, is committed to its inhabitants' needs without season. And as you travel along, all these values are replicated in one company, Elton. Just like the River Gambia, leads in its commitment to values that matter most. Elton, championing the vision for a new generation.
Hello viewers and welcome to Weather Forecast. The weather today has been partly cloudy, warm and sunny. The satellite image we have for you today indicates convective clouds over the central part of the continent and the eastern sector, as well as a system over southern Senegal. These clouds will eventually lead to rain and thunderstorm over affected areas. For tonight, it will be partly cloudy, warm and humid with chances of isolated rain showers across the country. Whereas for tomorrow, it will be partly cloudy and humid with chances of isolated rain showers over the coastal areas, then rain and thunderstorm over the inland areas in the morning, becoming variably cloudy with rain and thunderstorm in the afternoon onwards, evening, over the entire country. The wind flow will be southwesterly across the country, and the speed will be between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperatures will be 20 degrees Celsius over Greater Banjul area, 21 over West Coast region, as the rest will record 22 degrees Celsius. Maximum temperatures will be 29 degrees over Greater Banjul and the West Coast region, 30 degrees over North Bank region and the Lower River region as Central River